Hello, my name is Gareth. You're watching the Hub Online Network. It is April 2nd. Let's get up to our COVID-19 updates for the day. All right, well, let's start off by saying that if you are at home and you would like to call, just sort of talk about what you're doing. I want to know what you're doing at home. If you're in self-isolation, quarantine, any of that kind of stuff, let me know what you're doing to keep yourself sane during this interesting time. And you can call me at 250-457-0538. The numbers or the phone's right here and ready to go. But let's start off with our new totals. Actually, you know what? I'm going to take a look at just see what yesterday was so we can have an actual comparison here because I took a picture of it. So yesterday, and these are the world totals before I get into the provincial totals. Yesterday we were sitting at 936,684 total cases with 47,048 deaths with 31,570 total serious cases of people in hospital with a number of 190,602 people totally recovered. In comparison to those numbers, today we're looking at 1,015,630 people that have COVID-19 around the world. There is now 53,016 total deceased, 33,789 total serious cases, but the good number is 207,011 people have recovered from this pandemic. So kudos to those people that have recovered. Hopefully the people that are infected and or are in hospital recover soon. We're thinking of you. Stay safe. Now how that works out for us in our province here, that's yesterday. Okay, so according to Dr. Bonnie Henry, in the province of British Columbia, we now have 55 new cases, bringing our total to 1,121. That is 525 in Vancouver, 386 in Fraser Health, 72 on Vancouver Island, 121 in the interior, which is a plus of 7 from yesterday, and 17 in northern BC. That also includes, so for the interior, that includes one person who is tested positive in the Okanagan Correctional Center. And we're going to talk a little bit more about correctional centers here shortly, but there might be a slight outbreak in the Okanagan Correctional Center. So right now we're sitting at 149 people in BC hospitalized, with 68 of those in the ICU. And we have had 6 new deaths in BC. So sorry, thoughts are going out to those people who have lost someone in this time. So that being said, let's go to my list here. So, as a reminder, there was a confirmed case of COVID-19 in Cache Creek. So it is in our backyard now. So if you were in the Cache Creek subway on March 24th, 25th, or 26th, please self-isolate. The infected individual was an employee. So if you had a sub made, again, self-isolate for the next 14 days. That being said about the person, so it was an employee, but that employee has apparently left town. Not sure why they didn't just go self-isolate, but apparently they have left town. If this is wrong, if my information is wrong, please call me or text me at 250-457-0538 or email me at HON@ashcrofthub.com and I will change my story here. But from the information that I have, again, it was an employee. The employee has left town. I have been asked to point out that in regards to this COVID-19 case in Cache Creek, that people may have this disease and they don't know it. they think that they're fine, they don't know that they're sick, and they go to work. Unfortunately, some restaurants are considered essential services at this moment in time. So it is not the fault of the owner of the subway. Apparently he has been getting, or they have been getting a lot of flack. So I just want to say that physical, verbal, or cyber bullying should not be done or tolerated at this point. We're all in this together. Please do not go after anybody just because they happen to run an establishment that ended up with a case of COVID-19. I'm sure that this is going to be a thing moving forward. It's nobody's fault. It's just at this moment sort of is what it is. So anyway, I wanted to pass that along to you at home. But on a positive note, and you can go check this out at the Hub Online Network Facebook page, there was this really cool, small, we only have so many first responders in our small towns, but we went and filmed the fire department of Ashcroft, the ambulance service, and the RCMP, did a little parade around town. We only filmed the bit where they went through the hospital grounds. Dr. Adatola was there, so he was able to watch this happen. They were flashing their lights and putting on their sirens, and it was very cool to watch. Again, you can see that at the Hub Online Network Facebook page. Thank you to all of our first responders. Thank you to our doctors. Thank you for, the people that have to go to work at Home Depot, the people that have to work at Lordco, the grocery store, the pharmacy, all of you first line essential services. Thank you. And tonight at 7 p.m., go outside on your porch, bang your pots and pans, do what you got to do to show your support and appreciation. The Mayor of Kamloops has done an update. So the mayor calls for no parties. Last weekend there was a party in Kamloops. Actually, somebody got stabbed, and there ended up being an actual fatality based off of the stabbing at this party. The mayor is saying, please, no parties. You shouldn't be having parties anyway, let alone one that you're being stabbed at. So social distancing, physical distancing is the thing right now. Bylaw officers are out and enforcing rules. And Barbara, or Mayor Tellerico, if you happen to be watching this, or anybody from councils, if you happen to be watching this right now, give me a call, because I have a question about bylaw officers and how, since we don't really have any bylaw officers, how does that fall and affect our area here? So, and call me right now, 250-457-0538, and let's talk about that. If you are watching, let's do that. There's also a bunch of projects that are going on in Kamloops still happening. The West Side Pool, there's 2 groundwater wells that they're building, the berm and the Mission Flats, and they're building a backup power generator for the water center. So those are all projects that are still happening despite the physical distancing rules. Those are, I guess, essential projects to do. They do have other projects that they do have on the line, but they are debating whether or not to move forward with a bunch of those other things. And I'm just trying to include Kamloops as well in some of this, just so you guys at home know a few things happening outside of our jurisdiction. Of course, playgrounds are closed. They're working on strategies to help people that are currently homeless and or are battling with mental health in this time. They are reducing bus capacity to 20 people per bus at a time. Farmers markets have been deemed an essential service for food items. So the farmers market that happens in Cache Creek, I don't know if that's a thing that you want to look at doing or not, but in Kamloops at least, it has been deemed an essential service for food items only.
Yeah, it is cool.
And how?
I also wanted to mention something about the new helpline that a number of different groups in the area have gotten together to collaborate to make happen. I think that you've been talking about it. I don't know if you mentioned it already today because I was a few minutes late online.
I have not yet today. I was going to, but go ahead.
Okay. So I just wanted to just say we're just so thrilled. Everything went kind of live yesterday as we got the news out that there's one number to call, and really all the number is like you're a secretary, if you will, and the person might call in and say, hello, I'd just like somebody to chat with, or hello, my name is such and such, and I really need food delivered because I can't leave my house, or I don't have the money to buy food. Is there somebody out there? So then the person who's on the phone will take the name, the number, and say, okay, we'll have somebody call you back, and be able to fulfill that need. And then what we do is call one of our local organizations like Elizabeth Fry, the Equality Project, Community Resource Society, or the like, and then they contact that person and get what it is that they need. And so yesterday we had a call, and it was an individual who really needed assistance. They had no food. They had no money to purchase that food. They're not well, so couldn't leave their home. And within about 15 minutes of the call, we had all of those items at their door for them, and we were just so pleased to be able to help.
Wow.
Yeah. So if anybody knows of anybody in that situation, or you are that person, that's why we're here, and that's why that number is there. Please call us. We're happy to help.
Awesome. And how long did it take for you guys to get all this going, do you think?
A community person, Anne McKay, emailed and said, hey, we should get something together. And I think from her suggestion to getting the groups together, it took us maybe 10 days to collaborate that. And interestingly, since we put that out in the community, Spencer Bridges called me and said, hey, can you put us on the list? And if someone from our community calls, you call me and we'll make sure they get what they need. And then I had Bonaparte call me and say, hey, what about us? And I said, okay, give me your information and we'll make sure. And so it's kind of like your virtual secretary who refers things to the community that can help.
Well, you make sure that if there's any way that I can help as well, let me know. You have my number.
I will.
And I'll be at your beck and call. How's that?
Yeah. So thank you, and keep spreading the word so that we can make sure that our community is taken care of.
Right on. Well, I'll do another round of talking about this at the end of my show.
Awesome. Okay.
Cool.
Thanks.
Thank you, Vicki. All right. Bye.
Bye-bye.
And that was Vicki Trill, runner of the Ashcroft Hub. Again, that number is 250-457-3422. It's on the screen right now. And I'll talk about that again at the end of the show. Thank you for calling in, Vicki. Okay, so where was I? Oh, so this was interesting. So again, as I mentioned yesterday, I pretty much wake up in the morning and I start following the news. I listen to all sorts of different stories. Yesterday I talked about how Ralph Lauren, Gucci, Louis Vuitton, they're all making like gowns and masks and stuff for hospital goers. On the flip side of that, there are people that are trying to profiteer. So before things really started to get bad out there, some people bought up a bunch of medical supplies and stuff, and now they're trying to resell them. So in Richmond, a man was caught trying to sell hospital masks, but was caught by a sting operation. So a police officer went online, saw that this guy was offering masks, which there's a bylaw right now saying that you cannot do that. And so this police officer set up a meetup, and so the guy shows up, police officer gets out, hands him the money for all the stuff, and then goes, oh, well, you're under arrest. Or not under arrest. He got the dude ended up getting a fine. He was 22 years old. He had over 1,000 masks that he was trying to sell. Turns out that the cop was that this was the third profiteer that had been caught down at the coast. So that's a very sad thing that's going on, is that people are trying to profit off of this pandemic. Not cool, but I'm glad that the cop caught him. Say what you will about police, but I'm glad that the cop caught him. As for Bonnie Henry's speech, she did talk a little briefly about Easter and what that looks like. So they are looking at ways that people can support each other in a safe way. So she's saying no gatherings, no church services, anything of that nature, although you will be able to see a church service put up by the Hub Online Network on our YouTube page on Easter Sunday. But no gatherings, nothing like that. So next week they're going to come out with an official statement as to how they feel Easter should be sort of done in our province, and that it will be an interesting thing to see what they say. Although I will say, if Bonnie Henry, I know that you're never going to watch my show, but if you do watch my show, you're doing a great job. Adrian Dix, you as well. What else do we got? So now this morning, Justin Trudeau went out and did his thing, and again, so sort of every day is sort of becoming the same sort of thing. He's not saying anything too much new. It's all sort of, we need to stay at home, positive message, that sort of thing. And then the questions come in from the journalists. And the main thing that was talked about via questions was the calls for the federal government to give some kind of prediction. And Justin Trudeau was very hesitant to give out predictions. I know that there are other countries that have said this is what 2 months might look like if this happens. 1 month if this happens, if things go a completely different way, it could be way worse. Even locally, Bonnie Henry and Adrian Dix have given out a slight prediction onto what things may look like. They did that last Friday. But federally, they have not done that, and they're hesitant to do so. So it sounds like since the questions this morning, it looks like they might be doing something to come up with some kind of a prediction to show models and that sort of thing coming up soon. But as of today, that was the big talking point from this morning's briefing with Justin Trudeau. And if you watch those things, please give me a call and we can have a little chat about it. Again, 250-457-0538. Now, a message from Brad Viss. So this is something that I saw from Brad Viss's Twitter. If you don't know who Brad Viss is, he is our local member of parliament. And this is in regards to the government contemplating letting some prisoners out during this pandemic. And this is where I said I would come talk about this later, because there is now a confirmed case in an Okanagan prison, although it's out of Mr. Viss's jurisdiction. But inmates of federal, so this is now what he said on Twitter. Inmates of federal penitentiaries are serving serious time for serious crime. The Liberal government says it wants to protect Canadians from COVID-19, but now wants to speed up the release of dangerous offenders. The rights of criminals must not take priority over victims' rights. So, if that's something that you agree with, or if you think that prisoners should be let out early based off of this pandemic situation, phone me either way. You can call me at 250-457-0538 and tell me what your thoughts are now. Or if you don't want to talk to me on the phone because you're kind of worried about having your voice on camera, text me and I'll read out your text message and talk to you that way. But engagement is good, so please text or call. So that is what Brad Viss said there. So something from the Desert Sands Community School. Hello, students and families. We have been thinking about how we might continue to connect with you during this time. One of the ways we connect when we are all at school is to listen to stories together, and we can still do that. Check out our new page, Story Time with Staff, to view staff members reading some of their favorites. The link should take you there. Now, Jessica, if you're watching, I got this off of Facebook for the Desert Sands Community School Facebook page. So if you can find that link and put it into our comments, that would be great. Jessica is at home watching and chatting with everybody right now. So thank you to Jessica. You're rocking it. And moving on. The Ashcroft Family Medical Clinic is still open, and I will say I had my over-the-phone consultation with Dr. Adatola this morning. It was great. I was just getting results for a CT scan, but I'm sure that if there was something more urgent going on, that he would be able to help over the phone or make arrangements to see you if it really was necessary. But right now, the clinic is still open, although they're not taking people in if they can avoid it. So they'll mainly be doing stuff over the phone, making appointments with you for those phone consultations. I'm sure that they have a setup for video chat as well, which may be helpful. But if you do need to get a hold of them, their number is 250-453-9353. The X-ray clinic and blood lab at the hospital are still operating normal hours. Both are trying to keep to urgent cases only. The X-ray clinic is open from 8:30 a.m. to 3 p.m. every day except Thursday when it closes at 2. And the blood lab is open Monday through Friday, 8:30 a.m. to noon. They are accepting walk-ins, and if you are going to the lab, they'll give you a time to come back. So I did this last week. So I went in, they stop you at the door, they tell you to come back in 20 minutes or whatever that time frame looks like, and then you just come back and go straight in and do your blood work. So it's very quick, good way to do it. So, and it's keeping our nursing staff and all those people safe as well. So good on you. This is interesting. There's EI for people that are eligible for EI. And then if you're not eligible for EI, if you're a contractor or a gig worker not eligible for EI, you can apply for I'll talk about this now, although this isn't what I was going to talk about, the emergency response benefit. And this will give you $2,000 a month for up to the next 4 months. And you can start applying for this next week on April 6th. But what they're asking for, so they don't get inundated with people emailing in or phoning in, that they want to break it down into days. So if you are born January, February, or March, please apply for this on Mondays, starting April 6th. If you're born April, May, or June, apply on Tuesdays. July, August, or September would be Wednesdays, and October, November, or December would be Thursdays. And then Friday, Saturday, and Sunday is open to everyone. But please stick to those days if you can, if you're born on those certain months, and you would be eligible for that $2,000. But if you are still not eligible for that, if you are someone that is dealing with some kind of a disability, the British Columbian government is increasing monthly income and disability assistance payments by $300 during the novel coronavirus pandemic. Shane Simpson, the Minister of Social Development and Poverty Reduction, said Thursday the $300 supplement will be automatically applied to assistance payments for April, May, and June. The first payment will be made on April 26th and will go to as many as 263,000 people. Mr. Simpson said that people receiving assistance and disability payments who are not eligible for the federal government emergency support programs will get the $300 monthly supplement. So if that applies to you, you don't actually have to do anything. You will just automatically get an extra $300 for the next 3 months. And that is from the Minister of Social Development and Poverty Reduction. And the Ministry of Environment has issued a burning ban that includes Cache Creek. So unfortunately, the village will no longer be issuing burn permits. The ban is stated to be in place until April 15th. Lots of reasons for this, and this is for big burns. So if you have a lot of yard waste that you want to burn, this is why I think that they opened up the TNRD yard thing again. This was going to be an issue. People were going to want to burn, and now they don't have a need to because they can do this instead. Take it up to the TNRD. Sorry, I just read a question here. What if they are not full-time? I don't know what you mean by that, Nancy. If you wanted to give me a call and just add some context to your question, just to refresh my mind as what I was talking about, give me a call and we can talk about that. I might know the answer, otherwise I will find out for tomorrow. But please give me a call if you're still watching. And don't forget that Mayor Tellerico and CAO Dawson in Cache Creek will be available every day of the week from 11 a.m. till noon to answer any questions you may have. The number there is 250-457-6237, or you can email admin@cashcreek.info. I haven't heard from Mayor Tallarico or CEO Dawson in the last little while, so I'm sure that they are very busy, especially now that there is a case in Cache Creek. Okay, so another thing that I'm finding very personally near and dear to my heart to talk about is if you are feeling down, if you know of someone that is feeling down, if they are talking about having suicidal thoughts, if you're having suicidal thoughts, please call 1-800-SUICIDE, which is the provincial phone number to call. Oh, sorry, I'll come back to that. Hello, Gareth here. Hello?
Is this the Hub?
Yep. Oh, hello. This is Gareth with the Hub Online Network.
Hi, this is Nancy Duchesne calling.
Nancy, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good.
So my question was when you were talking about the $2,000 for gig people,
Yep.
what happens if we're not full-time?
So
Do you know what
it's
I mean? Like, so that seems like an awful lot because that's not even close to what I would have had made in that case.
to my understanding, they haven't made it a difference of payment. So if you're a gig worker, then you just get the $2,000 for the month. I know that in the States that they've been having a lot of controversial talks about this because they're paying people more than what they would normally be making. And there's certain sides of the government that aren't interested in that. But in Canada, there hasn't been that kind of division. It's just, here's $2,000.
Huh. Okay. Thank
So,
you.
does that answer your question?
It does.
So,
I think personally I won't apply just because I'll save it for other people who are in greater need.
okay.
But, yeah. Okay. Perfect. Thank you.
Just before you go, how are you doing otherwise?
How am I doing otherwise?
Yeah,
I'm okay.
you're good.
Making it through.
Well, it's very nice to hear your voice.
Thank you very much.
All right.
It's nice to be watching you.
Oh, right on. Well, thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you soon.
Okay. Bye, guys.
All right, bye. So that was Nancy Duchesne, and Jessica looks like she's added a bunch of stuff into the chat, so that actually might have some more information that I know. Again, thank you, Jessica, for everything you're doing. Let's get back to talking about 1-800-SUICIDE. So again, if you are not feeling mentally well, if you know of someone else that is not feeling mentally well, please either get them to call this number on their behalf to see how you can help people, or call yourself. Again, we will get through this. This is a interesting time, but a thing that we can all get through, and there are people that are there for you to help if you need it. So please do not hesitate the phone. It's not, I just hope that everybody's feeling good, and hopefully we just don't have any issues like this, especially in our local communities. So anyway, on a more positive note, yesterday I talked about some TV shows, but I just wanted to give you guys some more quick movie series to watch. So the X-Men. So the X-Men has a whole whack of movies that you can watch. Vicky Trail just emailed you more info, federal and provincial helps. I will go over that. Vicky, thank you for the text message. I will go over that and read that out on tomorrow's show. The X-Men has a lot of movies that you can watch. Mission Impossible, I believe, has 5 or 6 movies for your viewing enjoyment, so that can fill up a day's worth of time. Toy Story, Harry Potter, as I mentioned before. James Bond, that's one I hadn't thought about. James Bond has like 25 movies that you can watch. And the Daniel Craig movies, the most recent set, really has sort of a through line with them, so it's not all sort of standalone films. So check those out. Pirates of the Caribbean also has 4 or 5 movies. Rocky has 4 or 5 movies. There's a lot of Terminator films. They're not all good. Some of them, I feel like they keep trying to reinvent the wheel when they shouldn't be, but the first 2 at least, check those out. Mad Max, although I don't know if we necessarily want to talk about the end of the world movies. Jurassic Park has a bunch. And the one that I missed on my first talking about movies like this, and everybody keeps pointing out to me on the street whenever I see someone, Lord of the Rings. And this includes The Hobbit, although Lord of the Rings ones are better than The Hobbit, in my opinion. Lord of the Rings, especially if you watch the extended editions, it's like 18 hours of movie just with Lord of the Rings itself. So those are my sort of, just looking at a list here, the top 6 or 7 that I would pick to watch right now. So check those out. Another thing I mentioned yesterday that so at home we're planning on really going hard on this starting in mid-April, and so it's my wife calls it the Victory Garden. So again, in World War II, everybody sort of was helping out, and then because everybody was doing their part, everybody started making gardens. They call them Victory Gardens, so that everybody had a source of food that they could have in the community, so food could be sent over to the soldiers across the ocean. So we're going to call ours our Victory Garden. We've got lots of seeds that we're going to plant. We're going to have a big garden this year, so I suggest that you plant yours as well, and keep us updated at HON at ashcrofthub.com on how your Victory Garden is going, if that's what you want to do. Or if you have any other suggestions along those lines, please email us or text us or call us, comment on this video, and we'll see what other people are doing. So now we're down to the last thing I'm going to talk about. It's the same thing that Vicki talked about when she phoned in. It's the COVID-19 Do You Need Help phone line. So here's the number again. So if you need anything from food or supplies delivery, telephone chat, mail pickup, spiritual support, you can call 250-457-3422 or go to the local Facebook info page, which is the Ash Cash Clinton COVID-19 Community Info Board. And someone share this video onto that group, and hopefully we can get a few more views out of that. This is all info that should be on that Facebook page anyway. And the people that are involved are people like the Ashcroft and District Hospital Auxiliary, the Ashcroft Hub, the Ashcroft Moving Forward, Better at Home, CRS, Elizabeth Fry, Equality Project, Hospice, Hospital Friends and Family, Hub Online Network, MLA Jackie Taggart, MP Brad Viss, Sage Hills Church, St. Albans Church, Village of Ashcroft and Cache Creek, and many local volunteers. So if you are a volunteer, thank you so much. If you're putting this whole thing together, thank you so much. And again, thank you to all of our first responders, doctors, nurses, receptionists, grocery store workers, home hardware, Lordco, everybody that's doing something that can't be on the self-isolation because you're deemed an essential service. You're kicking ass. Stay strong. We'll see you guys tomorrow at 4 o'clock. Thank you for watching. You've been watching the Hub Online Network, and have yourselves a good afternoon.